We are here with Turtle Reads, talking about the book Mort with our very fine guest, Scott Fillmore.
Hi, guys.
Hello, and I'm here with Melissa.
What's up?
And we're talking about Mort, which is one of the death novels in the Discworld. Doing a new thing here real quick. I'm going to read something from it. Poets have tried to describe Ankh-Morpork. They have failed. Perhaps it is sheer zestful vitality of the place, or maybe it's just that a city with 1 million inhabitants and no sewers is rather robust for poets who prefer daffodils, and no wonder. So let's just say that Ankh-Morpork is full of life as as full of life as an old cheese on a hot day, as loud as a curse in a cathedral, as bright as an oil slick, as colorful as a bruise, and as full of activity, industry, bustle, and sheer exuberant busyness as a dead dog on a termite mound. Mm-hmm. I love Terry Pratchett's
That might be the most Terry Pratchett.
Yeah, he describes shit so
he's
fucking
so great. He's so good. I mean, so this is my third Discworld novel that I've read. So I'm still pretty new. And first one I've read in 10 years probably. Okay. But I got introduced to Terry Pratchett from Good Omens.
Nice. That's
because Neil Gaiman I loved American Gods and got into that, and then I found out about that book, and oh my God. And it's so clear how big of an influence Terry Pratchett had on Neil Gaiman. And
did you watch the Good Omens series?
I watched the first season and I liked it.
They had Terry Pratchett's wizard hat sitting at the bar. It was fucking great.
I watched like 2 episodes of the second season and I didn't like it because they finished the book in season 1. I'm like, we don't need to.
Did they release the second season?
Yeah, it's bad.
I
was nowhere to go.
Yeah. You.
It's just about the angels being gay now.
Oh yeah. Okay.
They had the whole. I'm gay.
Hey,
I like it.
Fanfic.
Hey,
right?
yeah, that's a great
kind
take.
of like,
because I did. Now that I remember, I did watch it, and they just made it a love story between
Aziraphale and Crowley.
And gay relationship. Which,
it's just them being mad at each other boyfriends, and I'm like.
That's kind of what happens with a lot of franchises, though, right? Like, once the story's over, they go,
let's make them
all right,
gay.
how can we make this sexually good?
Well, that's the thing is,
what's the biggest
they're
outlet,
it's non-sexual.
The biggest bang for the buck
they
here?
can't fuck.
They are genderless.
But that's very sexual. That's the sexual tension.
Yeah, that's so British too. They're like,
I mean, the British
join me for a spot of tea.
Yeah, exactly. They're just perpetually blue balls in themselves.
Yeah, without balls.
Yeah, exactly. They love it.
Yeah, it is completely incapable for them to fuck in any way, and so even if they could, one's an angel, one's a demon. What's gonna
fallen angel?
Okay, true. But
of the two,
you idiot.
Which you think will have the craziest kink, the angel or the demon?
Oh, the angel for sure.
Yeah.
He's got a feeding kink in the show. It's like pretty. He's like, he's always trying to get Crowley to try new food, and he's just like, isn't it delectable?
Yeah, he'd probably want Crowley to feed him as they fuck.
I understand. I like eating more than I like sex most of the time, so I connect with that.
Would you? I know there's people who are adamantly against including food and sexual shit, like they're super against like whipped cream on nipples and shit like that. But would you be into that?
Against? I don't
think I'd be into it.
I'm a real meat and potatoes kind of guy when it comes to sex.
You want meat and potatoes in your sex?
By what I mean is I need 2 potatoes and a big old thing of meat. And
very good.
Nice.
I'm so.
I guess I'm also a meat and potatoes kind of.
Atta girl, hell yeah. I'm just so vanilla. I'm so lazy with sex. I'm just like, I just want to make everybody feel good and then get it over with, and then we can watch a movie and eat popcorn.
Nice.
I don't think that's lazy. I think it's just like porn has gotten to this point where it looks like so extra that you feel lazy by comparison. Yeah. But you're just doing it.
But I'm not against.
Yeah.
I'm not against anything.
Basic.
No, yeah.
I'll try it out. We'll let's have some fun. But I don't want it to be every time.
Yeah.
I don't want it, like
special occasion.
Yeah, exactly. Like we'll throw some whipped
Birthdays.
cream on some balls and have a good time. But
Weddings.
Yeah.
But it's a Thursday, dude. Like,
Yeah, no.
Can we chill out?
I know somebody who's like talks about it like it's just I don't want it to be so sticky and stuff during sex and shit. Like
that's what sex is.
I'm like, yeah, you're gonna get sweaty. You're gonna get
so
a little
sticky.
I know. The fuck?
I don't want it to be.
It ends in stick.
Yeah.
Like it always ends in stick.
Yeah, it starts with you touching your open mouths together. That's
stick. Yeah. Like two fucking fly traps just touching.
Speaking of open mouths.
I can't do food and sex.
No?
No.
I get that.
You know why? Because I love both. I love to focus on them when I'm engaged.
Yeah.
I really like food and I really like sex.
Yes.
And so it's like, they're so special. I feel like if I do both, it would actually dilute.
Yeah. It's like
them.
when somebody's talking during a movie.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, I just want to watch this movie.
Even if it's
I don't want to
great
have a conversation. We'll talk after.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You
Or
wanna be able
I'll
to
pause the
focus on-
movie and we'll have a conversation. I hate it when people talk during movies.
Me too.
Yeah.
And
For sure.
so I get like
Yeah.
that to me, like when sex gets too complicated and it's like, hit me, call me names.
What are you so bored with
dress
fucking
up like
life?
this? I'm like, can we just do this thing and then that thing?
Yeah.
I'll dress up after.
Yeah.
I'll dress up as a priest or a schoolgirl. I don't care.
Yeah. I'll sit on a cake. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll fart into a cake.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, whatever. But I want to eat the cake.
Well, and this is one of the few actual like love stories in the Discworld between Mort and Isabel.
Uh-huh.
Like, there's not too many of those. Like, most of the time in Terry Pratchett, whenever he has like a main or like even close to a lead female character, they're like very independent minded and shit.
Don't need no man
type shit. But this one, I feel like Isabel, since she grew up in Death's Domain, like now that she's like free, she's gonna have some wild kinks that she wants to fucking explore.
Well, she's also been 17 for like however many years.
That's true, for like 30 something years.
She's been stuck as a 17-year-old with an old wizard butler and a skeleton.
Yeah, the least sexual beings.
All the pillows in Death's Domain are disgusting.
Yeah, that's true. So she's gonna get freaky as soon as.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and she got married at 17. Goddamn. That's a little
so
creepy.
British, dude.
So my mom got married at 17.
True.
Well, no, 18. But she started dating.
Yeah. But then I feel like also like she's gonna be super freaky, and then Mort's like the ultimate like just kind of nerdy fucking.
He's just your little cuck boy.
Yeah, he's just gonna be like, all right, I guess we'll do that. I don't know how, but sure.
I mean,
what is anal?
Yeah, I mean, on some level, guys are just like that with girls in general. Like, if a girl's insane enough, and a guy likes her enough, he'll be like, "Yeah, okay, I'll put on the harness." Yeah, and
I'll
she's
kill
like,
my mom. I don't care.
Yeah,
I'll kill her.
Fuck yeah.
Tell me how you'll kill my dad.
Right? It's like, yeah, okay. Hey, sure.
Are you gonna assassinate the president for me? Are you gonna do it?
Yeah. He's like,
I'll kill him, babe. I'll kill him so dead.
I'll kill him. I really like you, Shirley. Yeah.
So, like, what are we?
Yeah, exactly. So, like, where's this going?
Just shut up and smack me. It's like,
Okay.
Yeah, no, for sure. I feel like she'd have him like on a leash or something.
Oh yeah, and he'd be like, okay.
Yeah.
He wouldn't like it. He just wouldn't.
Yeah, and that is wild because like at one point he basically is death. He can use the voice and everything. So it's like, yeah, it's a lot of power that he has. This is actually also one of the few ones where they have like one of the other alternate main characters from another series just like pop in. Rincewind pops in at one point, and that was wild. I was like, oh shit, they just have him as like some random tertiary character.
That's the best when you're expanding out universes. It's so fun to just have little cameos and drop-ins.
Yeah, it's like seeing a little celebrity in your head.
Yeah,
that you generated.
I read all of Brendan Sanderson's Cosmere novels, and I think we're at like, I think it might be coming up on 40 books of 8 different series that all take place in the same universe.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Very Discworld-y kind of a setup, and I love that where it's just like, oh, this guy's from over there, he's popping in here. And
yeah,
it's just like,
is fantasy your favorite genre?
Oh yeah, big time.
How about sci-fi? Is there overlap or not?
Yeah,
really?
yeah. So the first like sci-fi fantasy book I ever remember getting into was Ender's Game. We had like the book on tape, and my parents just would put that on all the time, and I just loved that book a lot. And then also I grew up Mormon. Orson Scott Card, the author, is a Mormon, so we just grew up reading all of his books, and he writes sci-fi fantasy. And then I got into Harry Potter. But my older brother, who's 12 years older than me, when he graduated high school, he left like his whole collection of books that he had, just like got put in a box in our basement. And when I was like 14 or something, I found them and just went through like 5 or 6 different series I'd never heard of before. Got into like Wizards of the Coast books, the Dungeons and Dragons books. He had a ton of like Drizzt Do'Urden and all those.
Nice.
Wheel of Time destroyed my GPA in high school because it's a 14 book long series. Each are like 1,600 pages.
Yeah.
Damn.
I would take those books to school and like put them behind my textbook.
I bet teachers don't know what to think of like reader kids.
Well,
you know?
exactly. Yeah.
Because they kind of suck at school, but you see them.
Yeah.
And you're like, this kid's smart. It's like, why is he a retard?
Yeah,
You know?
Yeah,
And it's
yeah.
like you can't reconcile it.
That's what most
Like
of my
they just like leave you alone. That's what
Yeah.
tends to happen.
Yeah.
And that's what happened to me.
most of my teachers, they would do that where it's like they were like, okay, he reads a lot and he knows certain very specific things, but I fail at other things, and so they're like, all right, we'll give him a C and let him pass because he's gonna do something, but we don't know what.
Yeah. That's how they treat reader kids. They're just kind of like,
They look
all right,
at,
just
they
good
look at our
luck.
Instagrams.
You know,
they're
they
like,
just-
he's a comedian. Shit, I should have failed.
I'm not even a comedian. I'm just a random security dude. So they're like, I don't know what he did with his life. Oh, he has a book podcast? Okay, now I get it.
yeah.
Heck yeah.
It is the year of Clay's renaissance.
Renaissance.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Rejuvenate.
one hilarious part, I was like, laugh out loud, like just dying laughing in my house while I was reading it. Whenever Isabel and Mort are talking at one point, and they both go, I would never marry you. Oh, I would never marry you. That whole part.
Oh, they start dissing each other.
And they have a roast battle, like against like a friendly just roast session that's just so fucking funny. At least I don't look like I've been eating donuts in a wardrobe for years, he said. At least I
forget that Terry nicely calls her fat as the narrator like 6 times.
Yes.
She looks like she may have eaten too many chocolates. I was like, you're the narrator. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. At least I walk as if my legs only had one knee each, she said. My eyes aren't too juggly poached eggs, Isabel nodded. On the other hand, my ears don't look like something growing on a dead tree. What does juggly mean? You know, eggs like Albert does them. With the white all sticky and runny and full of slimy bits? Yes. A good word. But my hair, I put it to you, doesn't look like something you clean a privy with. Certainly, neither does mine look like a wet hedgehog. Pray note that my chest does not appear to have a toast rack in a wet paper bag. Like, just going up, my eyebrows don't look like a pair of mating caterpillars. True, but my legs, I suggest, could at least stop a pig in a passageway. Sorry, they're not bandy. Like just going fucking hard, making fun of
old timey.
It's so fucking.
I think the hardest I laughed in the whole book was right at the beginning, where he's getting like hired by Death, and his dad doesn't get.
Yeah.
And so he's just like asking about the benefits. So is time off and vacation days? What's the insurance situation?
Where do y'all live? And that's just like, where do your work reside? And he's like, I work from beginning to end of time, and
It's like, dependable hours.
it's fucking nuts.
I love that. Well, just the whole disconnect for everybody with
with
death in the real world, where they overlay their own perception.
Yeah,
is so fun. And just like
it's like, oh, so you'll be an Undertaker?
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
Just the way people fool themselves around him is really creative and fun. I like it a lot.
Yeah, he fucking lands the Binky, the horse,
on the tower,
yeah, and then he's like, Mort's like, oh, isn't somebody gonna notice a fucking horse on top of a tower? He's like, well, would you believe that there was a horse on top of the tower?
No, I couldn't get him up the stairs. Really good. Binky rules, dude. The horse is awesome.
Yeah, Binky is like within himself, even though he's just a horse, he's definitely like an extra main character.
Oh yeah,
in each one, especially like the.
It makes me think of The Witcher. He loves his horse Roach.
Yeah.
Oh, I never watched. That's I only saw it when it came out on Netflix. I saw a little bit of it, but it looked kind of corny to me. But I figure what it's based on is probably better.
The show's kind of mid. I've never read the books, but the games are incredible.
They're games.
So it's a Polish author wrote these fantasy books that got adapted into video games that are
okay.
Yeah, the video
some
games,
of the best games ever made.
The video games are amazing. It's all based on like Germanic folklore.
Yeah. Like Slavic, Celtic.
Yeah.
Cool.
And
Baba Yaga and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So Yaga. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've taken Baba Yaga and like put it in so many random shit. John Wick is.
Well, I hated that because I'm like, why are they calling him Baba Yaga's an old witch lady?
Yeah, it's a lady with chicken legs. Oh no, our house has chicken legs.
They're translating it as boogeyman. I'm like, that's not what that is.
Yeah, no. It's so ridiculous.
I mean, she is a style of boogeyman.
Yeah, but
she's her own thing.
She's not the monster under the bed. She's an old crone that lives in the woods.
Who flies around in a cauldron.
Which is sick as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like sticking with like whenever people take that kind of shit and then like keep it within the confines of the original shit, but kind of use it in their own way.
Yeah, yeah.
Not like the John Wick one was weird, but
I like when you look at the lore now about how to fight witches. It all comes down to like how you would fight somebody with autism. You know, you ever notice that?
You gotta throw sticks at them, and then they'll get busy counting them.
Yeah, it's literally that. It's like, if a witch is coming, put the rice on the doorway because then she will count each rice kernel, and then the morning will come.
I thought that was vampires.
It's witches too. It's
hell yeah,
and then there's like I saw something on Instagram. It was like a picture of
what you're saying is we need to start burning autistic people.
I think what I'm saying is I think that's what we were doing.
Hell yeah.
You're like pushing them motherfuckers off cliffs and shit. And it's like they're just good at counting.
Test them to see if they survive when drowning and shit.
There's like an Instagram picture of like, this is called a witch's stairwell, right? And it's like, it's basically like a staggered stairwell that's split in half so that they don't match up, right? And that's just somebody with OCD or autism that would just be, it would freak them out. Yeah. And they would just start stimming and like, I don't like this.
Can you imagine how much a person with OCD would hate cobblestone streets?
Yeah, shit like that.
Dude.
Nothing matches. It's all uneven.
Yeah. And they're just like, these are witches and we need to, did they always burn witches? Was that even a thing?
Burn them, drown them.
Yeah, burn them, drown them.
But that's kind of when they got riled up, right? That's kind of when there was like a plague and then they wanted to blame. Because a lot of the times the witches would just be living in the woods. Like people,
well, first of all, witches aren't real.
My grandmother was a witch. What are you talking about?
Yeah, well, okay.
Your grandmother was a bruja.
My grandmother was a santera, and people would come to her, and she would do little jobs for them, and she would read the tarot, and she would do all the shit. But she's not actually the kind of witch that would get burned at the stake. You know, she was just this respected lady in her society, right, in her community.
So that's sangria?
Sangria, that's a drink.
What is
Santeria?
Santeria.
He's like, I don't practice sangria.
I do practice sangria. So Santeria, isn't that like old school witchcraft with Catholicism? Like it's mixed in with Christianity?
It's the Yoruba religion sort of hidden behind the trappings of Catholicism. So
I mean, that's all Catholicism is anyway. Catholicism is all old-timey pagan shit.
Yeah, it's just
wrapped
rolling
up
them because it kind of maps similarly, and I think psychologically.
Yeah.
So it works. So it worked for them. It basically works for pagans, I think. It just kind of like, hey, we got a bunch of people here too.
Paganism rules, dude.
Huh?
Paganism rules.
I don't know. I feel like it's so confusing. I mean, I can barely like stick to my daily schedule. You know what I mean? Like imagine a daily schedule of like you got to talk to different people in your head.
I don't know.
That shit sucks.
I just think it's because it's also it's so much less strict than Christianity.
Christianity, well,
because Christianity is like God is perfect.
Oh yeah,
infallible, and can do no wrong. He knows everything and he can do anything. And in a lot of pagan religions, they're like gods are just powerful. They're not. They're just as fucked up as the rest of us. They just are.
Yeah, I guess
immortal beings.
Well, I don't know. I think whatever.
I just think that's a
I do
fun
like
take.
that part about pagans that they're having like a all my children's kind of like melodrama, up
like
on
Zeus
Olympus
is
or
just
wherever the fuck
cheating
they
on
are.
his wife constantly.
Yeah.
Forever as different animals, which was super weird. He would just go and fuck someone as a goose.
Yep.
They would all do it. Jupiter, I think there was a story about Jupiter literally coming down as a golden rain on a girl.
Yeah.
Golden
And that's
shower.
like a golden shower. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
these guys were
There's
full of kink.
yeah.
They fucking
Yeah,
love that
and
shit.
like I don't know that it kind of lent towards like the idea of like bestiality being okay back then, but like the half man, half animal hybrids that they would come up with in Greek mythology that would like insinuate, yeah, some people are fucking some animals, and then just raising like a minotaur or Pan the satyr or some shit. It's like, all right, y'all were kind of cool with fucking goats.
Yep.
Cool. That's a good information for historical context of
Hey, if you're a shepherd, there's not another human in 60 miles.
Yeah, they're fucking goats.
yeah.
Dude, in North Columbia, that Vice did a documentary about how they fuck donkeys still up there, and it's kind of like the young boys will go fuck the donkeys so that they can practice and then be good for a girl, I guess, once they're riddled with donkey herpes. Or whatever
Yeah,
the fuck.
hell yeah, donkey herpes.
Yeah. So, but the half man, half goat thing, that kind of stuff, it's interesting because it's also interpreted as like it's kind of like the man goat, like the Pan figure, is this sort of like a very salient symbol about man's division, like your internal divide
Well, 'cause
between
we
the animal
are-
and the higher consciousness, the god.
We are from nature. We are
Yeah,
we
but-
are animals.
Yeah.
Right.
At, like base level.
Well, but
But we're
are.
trying to escape that. We're trying to get out of it, but there's still part of us that is
Well, some of us don't try to escape. I think it's just that there's this internal struggle constantly between it, right? There's like the animal. We're an emergent property of nature, right? We have dicks and pussies and armpits and assholes, and shit and farts,
Just
and
like the jungle,
vomit.
baby.
Yeah, just like all the jungle people, and we like to kill and maim and rip and tear and fuck and all this shit, right? So there's all of that, right?
we should hang out. What's
Oh yeah. And but then there's the consciousness, which is like an emergent property of all of the baseline consciousnesses, right? And we're just kind of, and it puts us in your head. Isn't it true that in your head there's no end? Like if you think about it, is there a boundary within you? Like in your thoughts, can it ever end? Have you ever sat with yourself in your head and thought, are there walls inside of you? No, you kind of go on, at least for your own self-perception,
I don't know.
you kind of go on forever.
My self-perception is kind of limited by my body, I think.
But it isn't though, right?
But that's how I feel about it. I feel like I'm a liquid of me that's been poured into the container of my body, and the volume of who I am is just filled in through there.
Yeah, but what if you imagine something like an elephant?
Mm-hmm.
An elephant's bigger than you.
Sure.
So how do you do that?
What?
She's saying you're imagining something bigger than yourself, so clearly
Your brain
expanse of your consciousness exceeds your own.
Sure.
your own container, right? You can imagine
Well, yeah, but
many things. You can sit and imagine
I don't think
yourself.
of myself as an elephant.
Yeah, but I'm saying you can imagine it, right? You can
Sure.
imagine the dimensions. You can imagine the heft, right? The weight, the tonnage,
Mm-hmm.
right? You can imagine even the smells, right? And like, where's that coming from? That's coming from like this limitless ability to generate, set space and size, right? Like within yourself. Like that's how people survive in prisons and gulags and fucking dungeons,
Solitary
right?
confinement.
In solitary confinement, where it's like you can
build a world.
escape into and you are not as big as a world,
Yeah.
right? So
Well, I mean,
they're in you. That's what I mean. In
I
that
think
sense.
that's a big thing of why we have so many people that are drawn to fantasy.
Yeah.
And so many people that dream of writing fantasy novels.
People that dream.
Yeah.
Because
period.
everybody I know that enjoys fantasy at like there's people that just read it because it's fun, and then people that love fantasy. Once you hit that love point, I think every one of those people that reads that on some level wants to write their own fantasy
Yeah.
novel series.
Yeah.
And there's just, I think there's something about just like the idea of creating your own
Clay wrote a
world and reality.
Yeah.
Clay's working on a story right now.
Heck
It's
yeah,
really good.
dude.
Yeah.
I've written a bunch of I've started chapters of 20 different.
Yeah.
I'm just not a good writer.
My favorite thing, that's why I really love Terry Pratchett. My favorite thing is world building.
Yeah.
Like I'll sit in the back patio and just I have a few different big concepts that I'm working on and just rounding them out of oh, this character is going to interact with this character in this third series and shit, and just conceiving an entire fantasy world with all the little tiny details, the logic of how how this planet gets sunlight and shit like that is so fucking fun for me. I have no idea why, but in my head it kind of makes me feel I mean, you're kind of playing God in your head, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, you're trying to make things that are beautiful, things that are ugly, things that are you're trying to create.
Yeah.
It's good. It's
Yeah,
good
it's
impulse.
super. It really Terry Pratchett. That's another reason, because he took something from Hindu mythology and then adapted it into this crazy British fantasy world and shit. God. And it's so perfect because
they really colonized the shit out of India. Yeah.
Not only their country, but all their fantasy.
Yeah, our national dish is chicken tikka masala, and also check out this sweet little British fantasy nut.
Well, what the British do, what the West does is it'll take a food or a thing, right? And then it'll just sprinkle some wealth on it, you know? You know what I mean? The shit that they had to work with all those spices to make that complex flavor, right? They're kind of compensating maybe for famine or lack of this or that, right? So they put it there, but they make something great, right?
Yeah.
And then they move to fucking London, and then they go, listen, this is great. How about we add some cheese?
Yep.
How about we make this
She said that
beef?
before.
How about we make this beef?
British
And
people,
how about
they
we
just
put in
take
some
people's
cream?
stuff and add cream.
There's cream? You know what I mean? It's all cream, mayonnaise. What about
it work,
aioli?
It does.
Chicken tikka
It's
masala
so
definitely
good.
works.
It's so good.
No, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying yes. That's
Here's
fucking
what I
cool.
will say is I think one of the cuisines that has survived that process the best is Chinese.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're too weird.
You can't add cream or cheese to Chinese food.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Well,
Yeah, it's fucking their
And
food
yet
is
Chinese food
fucked up.
standalone is so good.
Well, I don't know. I think it's because what do you mean? Because the actual Chinese food that Chinese people eat does not look like the General Tso's
No, I
chicken
know,
that we
Yeah,
eat.
it's-
So which one are you talking about?
Both.
I
Because
think
ours, Western Chinese food is there's a lot of sugar added. There's a lot of extra stuff.
it tastes good though.
But it's still the connection between that and traditional Chinese food is it's very vinegar heavy.
Yeah.
Vinegar's used in the rice and the cabbage and the marinating the meat and everything. Soy sauce.
Yeah, ginger garlic.
Ginger garlic. And those don't pair well.
You cook?
Oh yeah, big time.
Sounds like it.
Those-
That's like a cook. A cook.
those don't pair
a cook
well with
isn't going
cream.
Ugh. They're like garlic, ginger, umami. You know, they're just like oyster sauce, just a dab. You know.
But yeah, I mean if you splash some cream into some ramen noodles, you're ruining that.
Yeah, you're fucking
that
it up.
dish.
Yeah.
And that's something I would do though.
That's
Hey,
vile.
it's worth a try.
I come from
That's vile.
I love cooking.
He's a witch.
Certain
Burn him.
I love cooking certain things. I grew up Cajun, so I love Cajun food
Hell
and shit. So
yeah.
I like cooking crawfish
Dude,
etouffee.
it's crawfish season, baby. We got to go to a bowl.
I went to one Saturday. Lil Easy is really the only Cajun restaurant I like in Austin right now.
Okay.
Hey, where's crawfish culture start and end in the U.S.? Because I never.
Louisiana.
Yeah, it's
I
Louisiana.
never.
It's Louisiana. That's all that is.
But you're
Get you some
Mormon.
mud bugs.
Are
Baby.
you Mormon from Utah?
I grew up in
That's all I know.
Wisconsin,
Yeah.
but I lived in Salt Lake City, Utah, the last 10 years. But
Okay.
I got into Cajun food because a good friend of mine grew up in Louisiana, and then we met in Utah, and his whole family moved to Utah. So his mom is
nice. Yeah. She
third
cooks.
Is
generation
it weird being gay in Utah?
Louisiana. Oh, it's weird, very weird. But so they would do a crawfish boil party every single year,
Yeah.
where they would overnight live crawfish from Louisiana,
Wow.
and then cook them up. We'd do 50 pounds and have
Yeah.
Shit.
the whole neighborhood over, and
Yeah, but I have
so much fun.
I have 4 uncles with crawfish farms, and I got a deal on some crawfish. We had a crawfish bowl here. The first year we opened a creek, I got 200 pounds for $200. $1 a pound.
That's good
for my uncle, and yeah, it was fucking great.
That is rad, dude. Well, we're only an 8-hour drive to New Orleans.
It's 6 hours to Lafayette, so it was.
Dude, I'd drive some crawfish here and there, man.
Dude, I don't even know how to eat crawfish. Can I just say this?
Yeah, dude.
Oh,
let's go do a crawfish.
And also,
boil.
they freak me out a little because the eyes.
Yeah. I don't suck the heads. Everybody says you got to.
I don't either. Don't worry.
I don't see the point.
From South Louisiana. I'm Cajun as fuck. I don't suck the heads because there's no
you like suck it out through their assholes or something?
No,
yeah. No,
do you not understand how fucked up that sounds?
Pull the head off of the body, and a lot of the meat comes out of that.
Yeah.
And then
the
you got like a hollow cup of their head.
This is what I'm talking about with the goat man. You see what I'm saying? This is like the animal part. Look, Justin got to leave the room. He's gagging.
Are you gagging?
He's just got to go.
Also, people complain about the little. Whenever you pull the tail, there's the tail meat, and then there's that little sliver of like brown at the vein. People say it's shit. It's the shit vein. I don't know if it is or it isn't, but it doesn't matter because it adds flavor. Fuck everyone.
Well, also, who gives a shit?
Exactly. It's literally just
Just eat it. Nobody's dying from it.
You're boiling this thing alive. Anything in that shit vein is fucking.
Well, also, what is
clean.
What is a crawfish eating, anyways?
Yeah, it's just eating like plants.
It's
and
eating bugs and
algae
plants and
at the bottom of this little tiny rice
just
paddy.
doing its
It's
thing.
fine.
It's eating like a drunk bitch vomit when she fucking leans over the yacht overhead.
Hey,
And
you
then
and
it
me
just
both,
goes
brother.
down to the bottom.
I'm sorry, yachts. You don't have yachts in crawfish
No,
patties.
sir.
Oh, okay.
You might, if you're fancy, you got a fan boat.
Yeah, you're the equivalent to that is the crawfish farmer getting drunk on his boat out in the crawfish patty and just like,
Yeah.
oh,
You can tell me that
all
doesn't
right.
happen?
I guess I'll wait a few weeks before getting that crawfish from there.
Time to feed the crawfish.
Jim Dan, I need you to take the boat up yonder, man.
Oh, God.
No, but yeah,
I don't think I could do
I'm definitely the type that would throw cream in ramen because my cooking style is
He
kind
said
of
cream and ramen.
That's disgusting.
Don't do that.
well, my cooking style whenever I'm not planning like crawfish shakes it's the stoner with the fridge opening a fridge mentality of man, let's just mix some shit together, see what we can make.
I'm not talking instant ramen noodles. I'm talking like
bowl of ramen.
You get the katsu in there. You got the soft boiled egg.
No, I'm saying if I got like ramen from Ramen Tatsuya and I was like, this could use something.
Oh, I would hurt
Clay, you got to get the fuck out of here. We're going to continue the podcast
you. Because ramen
without
is
you.
one of the most perfect
It's
meals
perfect.
ever created.
I've only
It
had
should be. It's like tacos, right? It's
Yes.
like every
leave it
food
alone.
gets to a point where you're just like, all right, stop.
You're done.
Yeah, like sometimes they go too far with donuts. Even it pisses me off.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
I only get chocolate ring donuts now.
Yeah,
That's
it's like,
all I get.
hello.
Because I'm like, you did it. You nailed it.
That's it. It's like when it's perfect. Stop.
Yep.
I've only had like one.
I don't need a
really,
Butterfinger shoved up the ass of this donut.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
I have only had like one really good bowl of ramen. Like everything else has been like, it
Really?
tastes like weird and it was Ramen Tatsuya.
I'll give you. There's a
ramen.
lot of mid ramen out there, but
Yeah.
there's so much good ramen.
Which ramen Tatsuya bowl did you like?
I forget. It was a date I went on a while back that ended up because she was asexual, not being anything. I forget which bowl
Is it
I
the
got.
one where you dip the noodles in the broth, like it's a thick broth? I like that one.
No,
Udon?
the noodles were in the broth already.
Okay.
I forget exactly what bowl, but it was really, really good. But I've been there a couple other times, and every other bowl I tried was like, it needs something. It needs
milk.
Wait,
milk might have made it better, man.
anytime you go to a ramen
He goes
place,
to a ramen place. He's like, "Excuse me, do you have a
anytime you go to
milk?"
a ramen place and you're not sure about what to get or not, get the spicy pork miso ramen. It will. At every place I've been to, it's the best one that they've got. Spicy
Okay.
pork miso,
All right.
It's
thick
kind of like
noodle,
baseline ramen. I
thick
guess,
noodle.
right?
It's
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah, ramen is one of those things that I'll never cook. So I would like to know where to
I
get
only
it.
go get ramen.
Because that's one of those things where I'll cook and I prefer to cook because most of the shit that I eat, I make better than most places, right?
Right there.
When you get to the point where it's like that, you kind of don't want to go anywhere most of the time. But when it comes to Asian food, the rack of spices and tools and utensils that you got to
Oh my
get
God.
just to make it work, it's just not worth it.
Also-
it's like buying all the shit you need to like renovate your own bathroom, and then you do it, and now
Yeah.
you got all this fucking like
I did,
$1,000 equipment.
I had a cooking TikTok for a while.
Oh yeah,
Nice.
And I on one of the episodes I made chicken tikka masala, and I was like, oh yeah, I'll just go grocery store, get all the spices I need for it.
I tried
had
that
to
too.
get 20 different
Yeah,
spices.
it's like crazy.
And I only used a half a
Yeah.
teaspoon of each spice, and I was just like, well, now I have a lifetime
Yeah.
supply of garam masala
Yeah.
that I will never use except for this dish.
I still have garam masala
Yeah.
from like 4 years ago.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. But that's the nice thing is it's an investment.
Yeah.
It's a long term. I don't have
Exercise and
stocks. I have
spices.
yeah, I have 30 different things of cayenne pepper.
Yeah. All right. Well, I don't know if the apocalypse happens or something, maybe that'll be currency.
Probably,
hopefully. I don't
honestly.
see why it wouldn't.
yeah.
It was for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Salts and spices.
Salt was
and
worth
shit.
its weight in gold.
Guys,
Yeah.
invest in spices. Fuck gold. All right. Get them spices. Sumac.
That'd be
That's
hilarious.
that
Okay.
colonizer mindset.
Yeah,
I love it.
get them spices.
The next pandemic
Well, I am
happens and
Diaz, so that's a conquistador right there.
the next pandemic happens and all the spice shelves are sold out in all of the grocery stores and shit.
Dude, that's
Yeah.
what happened to yeast during the last one.
I
Everybody,
remember
everybody
that.
got into sourdough, and
I still have that
Yeah.
bottle. I still have a
Yank it
bottle
up
of
yeast.
sourdough. From
You got a starter?
Yeah, but because
yeah.
I wanted to make shit and they didn't have any yeast anywhere, and so then I was like, oh, you can make. So I just started growing it, and I thought it was gonna. The quality changed when I moved from New York, though. I was sad about that, and I was sad about that because I can't make the same pizza anymore, and that really sucks. And I didn't think it was gonna be that drastic. I was really hoping that if you take the yeast from New York to Austin, like maybe you would keep some
so
of that.
people say it's the water.
But it's not. It's a lot of factors. It's probably the water. It's probably also the wild yeast that's just in the air.
Well, and
Yeah.
New York, you're right at sea level.
Yeah.
And
And the water is important because it comes from that watershed. You know how many fucking dead mafiosos are in that water just fucking
just
marinating?
letting that Italian
that fucking
zhuzh.
ragu. Yeah.
Well-
the ragu italiano.
Yeah, they say that, like the water from New York is what makes the bread and all that kind of I feel like then why don't we like make like somebody should go around, go to New York, go to Louisiana, go to fucking Mexico, go all over the world, do the exact same replicated recipe for some yeast, some bread made in each place, and then legitimately see if they are
But they've done
different.
that. I mean, they've
Yeah.
technically done that. And what's that? Home Slice? That pizza shop here?
Yeah.
Home Slice does import water from New York to make their pizza,
Yeah.
and I have tried it. And of the pizza I've tried here, it is the closest.
In Salt Lake, the elevation's so high, it's really weird for baking.
Yeah.
They do the same thing, import yeast and water from New York for a bagel joint.
And it's what
and
you need.
They're the best bagels in Salt Lake.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's that watershed. Maybe Seattle also has a natural watershed. I think it's the only other one. Like we get our water in both of these cities from a natural watershed that goes all the way from like the mountains upstate down to the city, and it's all built so that the water just flows naturally back towards the pipe system, right? But
Sure.
every other part of the country is not like that. Everything gets processed, and a lot of the water here sucks, actually. Like
water is
Indiana
terrible
is
here.
fucking awful. Yeah, like here. It's
Anywhere
like
in the Midwest, you're taking your life in your hands. when
yeah,
you're drinking.
exactly. It's like heavy salts and
Yeah.
shit. So it affects pizza.
Our in Louisiana,
Sad.
our water's fine. Our land is so saturated, you could like pick up soil and just like squeeze it and wring out water.
Oh, yeah.
like it's fucking great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I grew up on a like decent sized little farm with a freshwater well. The best water ever.
of course.
You can't grow
Just-
your hair out like that over there, though. You fucking die.
I don't know. It's hot as fuck. I was just sitting outside. I don't give a fuck.
It's a toasty place everywhere, man.
I feel like growing up in Louisiana, you get tempered for all climates and temperatures because it's constantly wet. So no matter whether it's day or night, it's either you're wet and super hot, so you get tempered to the heat, or it's wet and super cold at night, so you get tempered to the cold. So you're just like, whatever. It could be.
So you're just like sauna, cold plunge,
exactly.
just depending on the time of day.
That's what it constantly is in Louisiana.
Sounds like fucking hell.
Yeah, I hate everything you're saying.
Yeah.
I can't.
I don't want to go there.
I did farm work in that. Like whenever I was legit farmhand, my boss would call me at like 2:30 in the morning and be like, "Hey, it started raining and one of our irrigation trenches like clogged up. You got to go out and dig it." So I'd go out in the rain in the cold night and just dig a trench. And that, yeah, you just get used to it. You just have to deal with it. And then now I'm like, I don't really give a fuck. I used to sit out during the freezes here whenever we'd have Rogan nights. I would sit in the back alley. I learned how to smoke a cigarette without using my hands because I had my hands in my jacket pockets.
Oh, I learned that. I learned that in New York. I know how to do that shit. That's not impressive. I know how to do that shit. I can fucking light a cigarette with my mouth. I mean, it's been a while.
You guys
so.
should go to Utah. It's pretty cool there.
Yeah. What can you do, Scott?
We don't have to do any of that shit.
He's like, why are you torturing yourself?
It's perfectly dry all year round. It's wonderful. High desert. Great snow in the winter, but it doesn't get too cold. Maxes out at 100 for like 2 weeks during the summer. But it's never humid.
But you're surrounded by a desert, right?
It's high desert, so you
that mean?
get a lot of rainfall, but the air is really dry.
Okay.
So like, it's green. There's still life everywhere, but
You ever go
it's
camping?
night. Oh, all the
What
time.
kind of guy are you? What are you? Camper?
I'm
You're
every-
a cook?
I'm
You're
every
a
kind of
camper?
guy. I'm a guy's guy.
That's what's on your that's your,
I'm a guy's guy.
your grinder profile. It's like, I'm everything. What do you want?
Yeah.
You want a hiker? You want outdoorsy? You want indoorsy? I got you.
I'm a little baby slut. Whatever you want.
Oh my God. That's so cute.
Whatever you like, I'm the best at that.
Do people ever try to set you up with guys?
No. Look at me.
Would you let them?
Look at me.
What do you mean? Look at you. Oh, I don't know. What do you mean?
I'm fat.
So what? It's a new age. There's
People
like
don't
tons
set
of
up
fat
their
gay
fat
guys.
friends. Except the only time I get set up with
Actually,
people
yeah.
is with people that are fatter than me.
This is
Get out,
true.
really?
No,
That's
yeah,
fucking bullshit.
No, I've never had a guy like a homie try to set me up with a chick because they automatically assume it probably won't go well. Look at yourself, player.
Yeah.
It's like
Girls like big guys. I mean, I don't know how it goes with gay guys.
No,
I
gay-
know. I
that's
understand it.
not
My
as
understanding
common,
is it's
Melissa.
harder.
That's not
Yeah.
as common as you think. Is girls like big guys?
You don't even know.
No,
okay?
I
No,
do
here's what
know.
happens.
Trust me,
Excuse me.
I'm
Here's
the
what
big
happens.
guy.
Excuse me, who
Girls-
has a pussy here? Me. Okay?
I used to have one.
And who did you go for? The rock climbing fucking gymnast Russian?
He wasn't like that when I met him.
so
He got like that
what
later.
I've noticed is
Gene was like super. Gene was like more like him.
is women that
don't see
say
that.
that they like
Huh?
big guys always start dating muscular guys, get into a relationship, and then their boyfriends get fat, and then like, I like him fat.
Well, I did the opposite. Gene actually is thinner now. Weirdly, he got into like
And what
gymnastics.
does it say about you? I wonder.
Well, I actually,
kidding. I'm kidding, dude.
I also am. Like, we just started going to the gym and shit, but
Ugh,
it's
gross.
just, I know, and we make out there too, just so you know, and we hug. Yeah, frequently.
Weird.
We hug between reps. So
Great set, babe.
yeah, that's right.
That would be hilarious. Just like the super romantic workout couple.
We are like that.
I just imagine
Deal
you
with
guys
it.
after
Deal with
you-
it, world.
After you
so
bang,
weird.
you just get off and slap his ass like, good game, bro.
I have done that. What are you talking about?
Me too. It's great. I've learned do not call guys bro in bed. They don't like it.
Yeah, that's true.
Gay men aren't like, they're not into like chief.
No, man.
Come on,
I've
brother,
tried
let's
it.
get in there.
Yeah,
They don't like
it's
it.
What the fuck are you saying?
But that's the kind of guy I am. I just want to have fun with my teammates. That's
Really?
I want us all to start tickling each other in the locker room. That's all I want.
Maybe your strategy should be start a softball league.
I'm not a lesbian.
Oh, sorry.
No, we do have.
I am a chick, so that's kind of where I would go.
Yeah.
All right, so start a football league.
Start an
Well,
intramural
you don't have to.
kickball league.
Yes.
Here at Creek, we have we hold events every now and then for the gay football league.
What?
The Austin Gay
What?
Flag Football League.
Tell me
Look at
more.
you.
You need to come through sometime.
I'll be a
honestly.
lineman, dude.
It is.
Yes.
It is exactly your like.
Yeah.
Hell yeah,
Dude,
dude.
you can fucking come by,
yeah.
just like cruise it, check it out, eat a bowl of ramen, just check everybody
Come on,
out.
boys. Come on, boys.
Yeah. Get a foam finger.
Focus up.
Yeah.
Yeah, Colton gets that going. He's part of it. Him and Chip and yeah, they're fun guys. It's super cool whenever they do it. It's just like the most gay. One time they had a table just full of cock rings just laid out.
Of course.
Yeah.
It's called wearing your protective gear, boys.
Yeah.
We don't want any more head injuries.
Yeah.
CTE is a big problem. So, Mort.
Yeah. Man, being gay sounds so fun.
It's not.
Oh, sorry.
It's the most fun.
Oh yeah. I mean, it has to be fun. You don't have to be around women.
Yeah,
and
it
like
is
you don't.
pretty
You also
cool.
don't want to. That's kind of good.
Can you imagine every story I ever hear has an ending? It's
Yeah.
so great.
I know. I get it. Look, I got to interact with women too. I get it.
And like points that the person hits during the story of like,
Yeah.
This,
Yeah, we just go there. You tell me a thing and I get it and we laugh and then it's done.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't have to hear about Tina from work.
Yeah.
Or why your mom is at fault for what you did today.
Yeah. Yeah. I get it.
And then plan for that conversation
Can you
to
tell I
continue
used
tomorrow.
to date women? Can you tell
Know
I
what?
used to date women?
I can tell you used to. I can tell you used to date dumb bitches. But yeah.
Women.
Oh. Well, dumb bitch is the default like average woman, just like stupid prick is like the default average man. So
Sure.
it kind of like works out in this bell curve. But you don't have to date. Well, I mean, you're gay, but you don't have to date those chicks.
Yeah.
They're just the easiest to
Yeah,
date,
they're just around.
and they also don't notice if you're gay, so it's also convenient.
Yeah, and I was leaving clues.
Yeah, just like me. You're leaving notes.
Yeah.
Scott's so focused on
She's like,
fitness. He's got all these pictures and videos of really fit guys on
Yeah.
his computer. So yeah, it's my goal. Goal weight.
How like for you? They have a few gay comics I'm friends with and shit. Some of them are like you would not be able to tell, like John Rice, like just off the rip, you wouldn't be able to tell he's gay. How do you find people like kind of tell off the rip? Like, because I know first time I met you, you didn't say it outright, and I didn't really know until I saw you on stage talk about it.
Yeah, it's mostly a surprise.
Is it?
I'm one of the guys that I have to come out
Yeah.
to most people.
I just kind of my rule of thumb is just assume all men are gay until proven otherwise.
You know, and I've been living
And
that
you know
way.
what? I've actually never been disappointed.
I've been living with that rule, and I've gotten in a lot of trouble.
It's different from his point.
Your assumption.
My buddies don't like it when I kiss them.
Your follow through with that is different from
Yeah.
mine. But refrain. I meant more observe and then
yeah.
see.
Huh.
Wait, have you ever tried to? Damn, yeah, I guess. Yeah, did you ever have like a heartbreaking? Like, I really like this guy. He's my friend.
Oh, I'm in love with all of my friends.
Okay.
Yeah. If we hang out, I'm in love with you.
Well, you just seem like a really romantic person.
I super am.
Yeah.
I just also like I have a hard time with the gay community because
Like a lot of
I
people
don't
do.
identify with a lot of like mainstream gay culture. Like I think it's great and it's fun, and if that's what you like, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to like like the RuPaul's Drag Race gays.
Right.
Yeah, the very flamboyant.
I call them
side.
sparkle gays.
Yeah.
Sparkle gaze, yeah.
And that's awesome. And you guys are having fun. Hell yeah. I'm not super comfortable in that world or that setting. And I don't feel like super accepted in those
Right.
places because
Because they're very shallow.
some of them.
Nobody's gonna see you coming out in like a rainbow speedo going.
When I show up to a place, people look at me less like a sexual prospect and more like
Yeah.
the guy that made fun of them in high school.
Yeah.
And I get
Oh,
that
I
because
see.
I did make fun of gay kids in high school when I was in the class.
Oh, did you? Were you one of those?
Big time. I emailed all those guys and apologized after I came out.
Was like some 12-step gay program I
Yeah,
don't know
I
about?
felt really bad about it.
You're fully gay.
I'd just call a guy a faggot in the hallway,
Did
and then,
you?
and then I'd text him at night like, we should hook up.
That's so awesome.
I feel really bad about it still, but
That's okay. You got through it. You're not doing it now.
My whole thing is like I just like hanging out and making friends with everybody, and then I don't want like a gay boyfriend. I want a boyfriend who was just my buddy 1st.
Mhm.
That like
yeah.
I want to go friend to boyfriend.
You want an actual relationship, not like, yeah, we're gonna like hypersexualize.
Yeah, I don't want to like wear a harness out to a bar and be
Yeah.
like that's fine if that's what you want to do. That's not.
Yeah.
And also, obviously, that's not how most gay people are.
Yeah.
But
There is that.
But it is
subsection.
harder for gay people to meet authentically and naturally, like straight couples get to do.
Yeah, John Rice has shown me his Grinder shit.
It's vile.
And it's fucking like every person on Grinder just has their dick pick up.
Yep.
Just
It's
right
a handshake.
there.
It's a resume.
Yeah,
it's not even
exactly.
sexual.
it's this is what I have available. If you want it, hit me up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they do that to chicks too. So I've experienced
Yeah,
it.
but not on like Tinder.
Yeah.
You know, they don't.
Well,
just,
I'm on OnlyFans right now for the interim for now.
Yeah.
For like the next 4 months, I think.
There you go.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been a lot of that. So
Bada bing.
I bet you Gene is enjoying that.
yeah, he's laughing his ass off. He like records me reacting to it.
That's
Just like
hilarious.
going through it. I'm just like, they show me
Bing,
pussies
bing,
too.
bing, bing.
The fuck?
I got a pussy last night on my
You did?
on my Grinder.
Oh,
Nice.
Because you get a lot of
That's off-putting.
Trans.
or just like non-binary.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. Everybody's welcome.
Yeah.
But it is a little bit of a surprise when it's just like I was like,
Nobody
whoa.
wants to see that shit.
Not what I was expecting.
I'd rather see a dick than a pussy, actually,
Agreed.
because it's, you know what I mean. Well, you know.
Funny you say that.
I would.
Well, a dick is like contained. Like a pussy's just all like, you know, it's like a fucking sea cucumber's attacking you. You
And
know?
I've heard, they actually make that noise sometimes.
They
which
do
is
make
pretty-
that noise sometimes. They're fucking. It's like I don't want to see that shit. And
Yeah.
they blur out dicks, but they don't blur out pussies on OnlyFans.
Do they
Isn't that some
really?
shit?
Wait, they blur out dicks on OnlyFans?
Yeah, like the dick pics I've gotten, thankfully they blur it out, right? But the
oh,
pussies
like in messages.
in DMs, but the pussies they don't blur them out, and I think that's discriminatory. That's bullshit.
Yeah.
That is
And it's
pretty
like,
wild.
why would I want
For
to see
sure.
a pussy? You know?
What if it's a pussy with like a huge clit?
Yeah, exactly. Oh
Like-
yeah, like those roided up clips
Yeah.
where it's like a little dick.
Yeah.
Is that
Trans-
where it's a tiny dick?
How do you
Trans
feel
dicks.
about that?
I like it.
Okay, yeah.
Dude,
They look
whatever
interesting.
you're doing, do it.
Yeah.
It's, I think everybody is beautiful and
All right, well that's a cop out. Look, let's go
no,
back
no,
to
no.
the book.
Genuinely, I do think I'm attracted to all shapes, sizes, types, genders. It's all very cool.
Wait, but you're
I
not
have a
attracted
preference.
to. Oh, okay.
I have a very strong preference.
Oh wait, would you say like you're kind of like 80,
I
20?
guess you could call it pansexual. I guess,
Okay, I see.
but that's like
That makes sense. With
Monday through Friday. I want to eat my regular food,
Dick?
my dinner that I like,
penis.
and then yes,
Okay.
you know.
Well, we were talking about cooking earlier, so I got confused.
Hamburgers, sandwiches, just my food. And then on the weekend, maybe I get a little Thai food. Maybe I go out, I get a little crazy, I get a little Indian food or
Okay,
something.
the
and
dildo
that's,
comes
and
out.
that's some spices I'm not used to.
Okay.
And I don't mind that at all. I don't want it every night. Sometimes I just want a bowl of cereal.
Yeah. All right. Damn cereal.
So yeah.
I can go for a bowl of cereal.
Talk about food. Honestly, I would like to eat some of Albert's cooking. That
Oh,
eggs sound
yeah.
good, so good. Like he fries the eggs up fucking perfect. That would be fire.
Oh, Albert.
Yeah.
What a cool character, by the way. Like
Yeah,
a butler who's a secret wizard king.
yeah. Like he
That's
was
pretty
the
sick.
founder of the Wizards. And
Yeah,
shit.
that's rad.
That was dope.
Yeah, Dumbledore accidentally enslaving himself to death, basically.
Yeah. Basically, yeah.
All right. Well, I think it's close to the time we gotta cut off. But Scott, do you have anything you want to plug? What's your Instagram?
Scott Fillmore Comedy on Instagram, and then
Any shows or
Yeah,
your podcast or a podcast or anything?
no, I'm starting a podcast next month.
Nice.
So that'll be fun. It's
Congratulations.
I'm doing a improvised movie riff podcast. I don't have a name for it yet, but it'll be 20 minutes. I sit down with a friend, fellow comedians. We pull prompts out of hats, and then we riff and write a movie together, start to finish in
That's
20
fun.
minutes.
Oh, that's dope.
And then we'll drop that episode, and then the week after that, while the episode's out, me and the guest will shoot a trailer for the movie as like
fun.
a sketch.
That's
So,
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
That would be interesting as hell.
first episode of that, I'm gonna start shooting it second week in June, and then
Nice.
hopefully every other week.
What's it called?
I don't know yet.
You don't know yet? Okay.
Yeah.
I think like riffing movies or
Riffin'
something.
flicks.
Yeah, riff flicks. He's like, I hate that. He's like, I hate
just
that,
like,
but I'm gonna nod.
No, yeah. No
because I
response.
want to
and
get
then
out of here.
We double down on it. He's just like,
Hey, so thanks so much for having me, guys.
So, Melissa, anything you want to plug? Any shows coming up?
Nothing big. I'm just doing shows all over. I mean, if you want to see, just Melissa Diaz #4 U on Instagram, and that's where all my postings about that are.
All right. And I am at my name is Mud9210. Big, long, retarded name. We will be back next week. Thank y'all for watching and listening. Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.